I first curated Dandy Lion, the first iteration, back in November 2010 when I was invited to do an exhibition at a pop-up gallery space in Harlem, hosted by a group called Society HAE. One of the things that you will clearly see is that what binds and connects majority of the men in this exhibition is the suit, and the European, Western, Edwardian, 20th century, very tailored suit. I think what differentiates them, particularly like if you're looking at images in London, is like the vibrancy of the fabrics and the colors. Like, so you might have men who are like first, second generation, British, Ghanaian, or Nigerian brothers who are mixing like African textiles, with plaid bow ties or vests. You can see the same thing, like the vibrant colors of the sapeur. Over here in the States, in Brooklyn, you're seeing a lot more toned down like colors and hues in terms of like navy blue suits and plaids, but still like a playfulness and a rebelliousness about like the style of texture, as well as like the different accoutrements that are adorned on these men, whether it's like sunglasses, a pocket watch, a hat, something that will allow them to like really express their individuality while keeping within this like theme of like dressing up and being sartorial. Most of these guys, none of them really identify as dandy, maybe a handful, but majority of them just see themselves as just like, really well dressed, dapper, sartorial. And so I've started to identify different movements. So like you have what I call the modernists or the minimalists, like these guys who have these large followings on, social media, like, Street Etiquette and Brooklyn Circus and Stephen Anoja, guys like that. Then also, there's the sapeur, which is the most well-known group. Those are what's known as the Congolese dandies in Brazzaville and other parts of Europe, where you have these like men who are wearing very expensive suits and like they're almost competing for fashion. Then you have other people like nostalgists. Like in South Africa, there's a group of young vintage inspired activists who call themselves Kambuda, who are wearing like the fashions of their grandfathers, like wearing old vintage suits, and their image like reflects a time and an era, post-colonial Africa, or the ideals of their, grandparents' generation about freedom. So you see like multiple different types of styles and expressions of dandyism, like in the US, throughout the Caribbean, Europe, and throughout the continent of Africa. One of the wonderful things about the exhibition is like literally it is a reflection of the diaspora. Like every single image reflects a man of African descent from some part of the world. I mean, it's really reflective of the idea that blackness is not monolithic, whether here in the US or around the globe. I think one of the things that's so refreshing about Dandy Lion, one of the reasons why I actually curated the exhibition, is because I was responding to the almost pathological narratives of like black people in art and contemporary art as these like, us as like broken people and traumatized people and oppressed people, and all of those things to a certain degree like have some truth in it. But our humanity is so vibrant, it's so diverse, and we're not monolithic. I mean, we can't be narrowed into like one small specific box. And so I think that's one of the things that excites me most. Like there are so many different entry points for people, whether they're straight or queer, they're old or young, whether they're from the States or somewhere abroad, they're, whatever their race may be. I think there's so many different entry points. It's just so refreshing to see something like so positive in these beautiful, rebellious, vibrant, energetic, majestic black men.